Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital YouTube channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribers button and give this video a thumbs up. Nina revealed in the confessional that she needed assistance and didn't know where to turn. On the opposite side, Cyrus, playing the priest, suggested that God was eager to help all his children. Nina described how she'd acted out of spite and how it had gotten out of hand. She hadn't anticipated how many people her actions would affect, and she wished she could go back in time and fix all she'd done. She said that she had reported a crime to the authorities when she didn't have to, and she was blaming an innocent guy for doing so. Nina was advised by Cyrus to confess to the individuals she had wronged, but she did not believe she was strong enough. "The truth will always set you free," he said in response. He told her to be brave and to remember that God was always with her. She thanked him and walked away. The priest then entered the church and asked Cyrus if he'd seen a woman waiting there. Cyrus replied that he'd seen a woman leave, and the priest apologized for the delay in speaking with the woman. Cyrus was curious about how the priest helped individuals unburden themselves, and the priest was curious whether Cyrus was asking for himself or a friend. Cyrus stated that a friend was feeling lost and alone that night and would welcome advice. The priest considered the buddy fortunate to have someone like Cyrus looking out for them. He walked away, believing that confession was healthy for the soul. Cyrus grumbled that if Nina didn't do what was best for her soul, he would have to. He left after crossing himself with holy water. Ava entered Windermere and noticed the broken window in the living room. Her phone rang, and she answered it to reach her security firm. They informed her that an alarm had been raised and that the PCPD were on their way. "It may be too late," she grumbled as she hung up the phone, taking a revolver from her purse. Dant came just then and asked why she was there. She told him that it was still her property and asked if he was going to arrest her for protecting herself in her own home. Carly and Laura discussed the fantastic celebration at the hospital. Laura approached Sonny and thanked him for funding everything. It was her first year without Bobby, and Carly assured her that Bobby was making headway with Luke's affairs. Nina appeared and apologized for her absence from the celebration. She told Sonny she had left church with a new understanding. Just then, Sonny's phone rang, and he informed that there had been a break-in at Windermere, and he was heading there to assist Ava. Laura wanted to follow him because it could be related to Nicholas, so the two of them left. Nina had something to say to Carly before she went home with Donna. She revealed that she had gone to church to seek advice concerning Carly. She wished to apologize for blaming Carly for Nell's murder and for pursuing vengeance by failing to inform her that Sonny had been in Nixon Falls. She went on to say that while she wanted to be a better person, a part of her was still broken. Carly stopped Nina and told her that she would not find salvation with Carly. Carly felt she'd given Nina enough, and she refused to ask Nina for forgiveness. "It's been a long day. All I wanted to do was go home with my family and enjoy what was left of Christmas Eve," Carly remarked as she walked away. There was a knock on the door as Ava turned on the lights at Windermere, and she allowed Sonny and Laura in. Laura offered to walk through the house with Dant because she was familiar with it. Dant consented reluctantly, but only if she stayed behind him because the house hadn't been cleared yet. After they'd left, Sonny wondered if Ava felt the intruder was the same person who delivered Austin's images to her. He also speculated that the person was playing games with her in order to get to him, which he believed was conceivable if the culprit was Cyrus. While Ava would have preferred to blame Cyrus, she reminded Sonny that she, too, had adversaries, but she could defend herself. Sonny demanded that she reside with him until he sorted out what was going on. Esme sat on the parapet, and all her misdeeds came flooding back to her. She took out her phone, crying. Spencer and Trina emerged from Ace's room after putting him to sleep. Spencer was relieved to have spent Christmas Eve with both Trina and Ace. He believed Esme had truly attempted to turn over a new leaf, while Trina indicated that Esme was simply making preparations. Spencer was relieved to have the flat to themselves, and he kissed Trina. His phone rang right then. "Speak of the devil," Spencer said to Esme while Trina went to get them something from the kitchen. He assured Esme that everything with Ace was good, but Esme admitted that she needed to speak with him about something else. Esme was in the middle of a thought when she heard Trina in the background talking about eggnog. She told Spencer she wouldn't be able to pick up Ace until the next day, wished him a Merry Christmas, and hung up. Trina had to leave, but Spencer invited her to stay and kissed her. Trina drew back, wondering if he truly felt Esme had changed her mind. He replied that he wished he could believe it, but they couldn't possibly know. He encouraged Trina to inform her mother that she couldn't find a carpool, but Trina reminded him that they were attempting to get Portia's approval. They kissed again until her phone rang, informing her that her rideshare had arrived. She kissed him again and vowed to see him in the morning. In the sitting room, a sobbing Esme chastised herself for even considering telling Spencer the truth about regaining her memories. She knew he'd never forget Trina and would live a happily ever after with Esme and Ace. She was about to leave the room when she heard footsteps outside. She hid in the opposite direction after opening the entrance to the parapet. Dante and Laura entered the room and proceeded to investigate the parapet. When they were gone, Esme dashed out of the room, dropping a glove on the way. Dante saw nothing outside, but prayed that forensics could uncover something. Dante gazed around the room as they returned inside. When he saw the glove on the floor, he placed it in an evidence bag. Laura didn't identify it, but she wondered if it was Nicholas. Dante said that it wasn't a man's glove, and he noticed no evidence that Nicholas had been present. Laura, realizing she was thinking too emotionally, indicated it was Ava's. Esme arrived at Ryan's grave as the snow began to fall lightly. She wasn't sure why she was there, because he hadn't been a terrific father who had reared her, but she believed he and Heather were the only people she could tell about her memories returning. She talked about how she'd had to teach herself to be a good person because he'd never shown her how. She talked about her excellent life in Port Charles and how she felt she was happy, but she didn't sure because the feeling was so new to her. She wondered whether she was intended to be terrible since it was in her DNA, and she felt sorry that Ryan had left her with that legacy. She took out her glove and searched desperately for the other, only to become wide-eyed as she realized she didn't have it. She talked about how she'd had to teach herself to be a good person because he'd never shown her how. She talked about her excellent life in Port Charles and how she felt she was happy, but she didn't sure because the feeling was so new to her. She wondered whether she was intended to be terrible since it was in her DNA, and she felt sorry that Ryan had left her with that legacy. She took out her glove and searched desperately for the other, only to become wide-eyed as she realized she didn't have it. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't miss any updates.